Ladies and gentlemen, welcome your faces back to another video. So, for those of you new to the channel, welcome. My name's Matthew. I make videos like these for a living, not for a living, but as a hobby, and also just to vent my frustration. And hopefully, I mean, a number of people on YouTube are doing the same thing as me, but I want to add my few cents to the masses. You know what I mean? I think it's everyone's duty to speak up when they see things that are wrong and that need attention. Otherwise, we'll get people like Pedro Pascal claiming you can't claim to stand for freedom while tearing it away from others. What do you say exactly? I can't think of anything more vile and small and pathetic than terrorizing the smallest, most vulnerable community of people who want nothing from you except the right to exist. Pedro Pascal. Now that is all very interesting. Now I don't really know what it pertains to. However, I made a comment because for me, it's wish-washy. Terrorizing the smallest, most vulnerable community. Who is that? From my understanding, it relates to illegal immigrants. And Peter Williams here. If his statement was accurate, then nobody wants anything from me, then cool, live or not live. People should be free to pursue their best, most virtuous lives. However, if someone's forcing me to accept a version of the reality which isn't true, then they are in fact wanting something from me, and the truth matters. And of course, the never-ending brigade come at him saying, "Oh, the ultimate damn twist interpretation, nothing to do against something like this." Bang on, blah blah blah. The virtuous mob is out there. Mr. Gregor Lobel responded with, "Always that they are forcing me to accept. No, they're not. They're asking about basic human empathy." Now, I took this post in relation to illegal immigration. So, I mean, I don't know where I took that from here, but I believe it was relating to that. And I responded with the following: forcing me to accept spending billions to support others while allowing others to outsource their responsibilities onto others is not empathetic. You are choosing to reduce living standards of Americans and the West to shoulder a never-ending plethora of welfare recipients who would like nothing more than to live off your dime. Nothing in life is free. If these illegals have committed no crime, cost taxpayer no money, and had no material impact, the argument has a point. Alas, we know it has an impact. You're asking for everyone to accept this reality. It's only right that others reject your worldview, even if you find it detestable. I'm sure we find others who think the same as you. Mr. Gregor Lobel responded, "The true sentiment of an angry white man. Alas, this is not what this is about. No one talked about money. Keep it to yourself. Politics has to be about the life of people ultimately, all the people and all the world in the end. Otherwise, every state just walls up, minds his own business, and ends up lying to its citizens about the state of the world." I have no idea what he's banging on about, to be honest. But he's claiming that no one talked about money and there's nothing. I mean, nothing really is substantial there. And I responded with, "You're telling me Rana Mohammed from Egypt, who managed to go through the wall, needing hospital treatment, and his son, who needs education, doesn't cost you anything? I don't mind you having an opinion. I'm insulted by your ignorance. Quite frankly, I'm insulted." And he responded with, "Sharing doesn't hurt so much. It actually might be nice. Try it. There's no way to fight global problems without losing privileges and standards on the fat end. Don't know to what extent I'm actually willing to give up my own standards, but that doesn't bother the truth that it's living together or not at all in the end." What? What? So I don't really understand what he was mentioning here. Sharing doesn't hurt so much. Look, I'm not against sharing. Okay, I want to emphasize the point. I'm not against sharing. If you have enough to get by and then some, by all means share away. It's your money, do as you wish. But what I'm going to talk about in this video is that it's not like we have infinite amounts of money. And it's not like there's nothing else money could be spent on that would actually provide a tangible benefit to those who are paying for it. And I think it's worthwhile reconsidering one's stances, especially because it makes no sense bringing in people who don't actually contribute if you yourself, your country yourself, isn't in good financial standing. Now, America obviously is a very, very wealthy country and obviously has a lot of money, and it is where people go to make money, and it has a lot of things going for it. But it has a lot of things going for it because it's where people work and contribute. And the idea that legal immigrants don't cost anything, I'm going to debunk that in this video, if you will. I mean, it's obvious, right? I don't need to debunk anything. I mean, anyone with a brain cell understands that people cost money, and invariably so. I mean, I cost money. Me being here costs money. The government is paying for me to be here in some way, shape, or form. There is a cost to me. Now, hopefully, I pay it back through taxes, but there's always a cost for me to be here. I mean, I've got a house. I use up this land. There's a cost to me being here, be it tangible, be it intangible. And obviously, as a society, we recognise that if I'm born here, I'm allowed to be here. That's the social contract. But in return, I pay for it. I pay for services, and I pay for service in exchange of being able to be here. It's not an inherent right. Well, if I'm born here, I guess it is, but it's not. It's not an inherent right for anyone. I can't just move to the Congo or to France or to Germany and expect to be given a place. I can't do that. It's not a thing. It's never been a thing in history. So one of them, innit? It's one of those things where it's weird thing that's happening today, where now the West is accepting all these people coming here, and we are supposed to accept that it's our responsibility at the end of the day to share. Always sharing is caring. Anyway, I responded with this. Nothing wrong with sharing if you have enough to share. That said, at the moment, it's paid for by taxes. And taxes is money that has been forcefully taken from people through coercion to pay for others who have not been forced to pay to accrue these benefits. This is not sharing, it's caring. This is actually the mob forcing other people, productive people, to hand over hard-earned money so others do not have to do the same thing. Live a more cushy lifestyle. If I voluntarily give up my money, that would be sharing, right? If I'm forced to, this is taxation. And in other words, theft. And, I accept a certain level of taxation. If you watch my videos, I'm not anti-tax entirely. I just think money that I raise or I pay into the system has to be given to benefit the system, as in other people, as in me as well, included within that. Giving money to others who have never contributed, who aren't American, who are British or aren't British, whatever, where you come from, is not conducive to a healthy society. And it creates a lot of resentment, especially among those who actually entered America legally or entered Britain illegally. It murkies the water. Because, I don't know if you notice these days in Britain, we've had Reform, who got voted in. And I don't know what they'll do about immigration. But I just hope they don't go after the legal ones. The hard-working legal migrants who come here and do a world of good. We have a lot of Chinese in this country doing a lot of good in this country. We have a lot of a lot of foreigners doing a lot of good in this country. So the narrative at the moment is like, if you ever speak up against immigration, you're deemed to be a racist and therefore a fascist, or just basically you need to die. That's the preferable solution for these leftoids, right? I get that, but it's not about immigrants per se. It's not a racial policy. Most people would not want all of Russia to come to Britain. They're white, but we don't want them in here. And we wouldn't want all America to come to Britain. We don't have they're mostly white. I don't want them in here either. And likewise, America probably wouldn't want all Britain to go to America. America is again. If I was to bet, if Britain needed help, America once again will probably provide assistance, because that's what America is. America is a good country. It provides assistance to those who need it, and to their friends. Of course, there's obviously a trade-off. Like, let's be fair. Like, I wouldn't even say it's not fair. There should be trade-offs. No one just gives someone money for nothing. Again, it's America's taxpayer. They will be giving Britain if time of need. Like they have done in the past. And Britain paid it back. Britain paid it back with interest. We paid it back in full. And that's what we do in Britain. We do it. We pay back in full. So helping people, yes, if you've got money, but do so if you can. But don't just do it without any kind of strings attached. I agree with that as well. I also agree that Britain should have paid back the debt to America, which it did. So I agree with that. Anyway, some theft is acceptable, as in if you pay money back into the state, back into the economy, and invest in new infrastructure and build things that are incentivize businesses, start businesses, start the economy going forward in whatever areas to help people have jobs and have a life. And that is all well and dandy, and I fully support that, right? But to give people who have never paid to the system endless amount of money, who have never ever contributed, and probably will never ever contribute, is, I'm not saying all of them. So there are some that will, but it's not. I would advocate for it, because you're putting yourself in a very much disenfranchised position. And I get it. Life is hard, but unfortunately, if America can't offer help elsewhere, it shouldn't. It should prioritize legal immigration rather than illegal ones. Simply because you wouldn't accept me to come over to America. I want to leave. They won't accept me. I have to go through checks. It's just fair. That's perfectly reasonable. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's there for a reason. So anyway, I remember saying this here. But to say giving all immigrants stolen money as sharing is an acceptable formulation. It's a deliberate obfuscation of reality. And also, as I point out, many Americans are struggling. Charity starts at home. And it should do. It should absolutely start at home. And a lot of leftoids will say, well, we could do both. Well, if you can, why don't you? And I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can. I generally don't know if you can. So, if you can, great. But I know in the UK we can't. Our welfare state is already too great. We are spending a fortune on everything. Costs are expected to rise. I mean, again, it's pertaining to America, but if it's anything like the UK, they can't afford it. Neither can we. Maybe America can afford it more than us, because America's richer. But it's richer because it's been better than us. It's been more sensible, more rational. You've got better thinkers, better people, better businesses, better startups, better engineers, better everything. America is better at almost everything. They outcompete the West in almost everything. And we're going to argue that actually healthcare is more expensive. Yeah, okay, there's trade-offs. I get it, and you guys can figure that out. But don't look at us. Our healthcare sucks. So don't look at us. Like, the best doctors and nurses, they literally go abroad, America or Australia or Canada. They don't stay here. So I'm just saying, don't think the grass is green on the other side. And advocate for change if you must in America, but don't think that, for example, giving endless people amount of money who've never come here, or also who just come here, who've never contributed, is a certain idea, especially when you've got limited amount of money. Anyway, let's continue. This is from epicforamerica.org. And I read here, U.S. Customs and Border Protection recorded 10.8 million encounters with illegal aliens between fiscal years 2021 and 2024. The Congressional Budget Office estimates that net immigration of illegal aliens totaled 7.3 million between 2021 and 2024. In the 4 years prior to this, net migration of illegal aliens was negative, which means people left. The surge has imposed a significant human cost, with communities across the United States grappling with the consequences of human and drug trafficking. A substantial financial price has also been paid by American taxpayers. Many illegal aliens become eligible for taxpayer-funded welfare programs costing billions of dollars annually. Now, I'm not American. Full disclosure, I'm not American. I read, I don't know how much is true. If you're American, please let me know how much of this is true. I heard a guy complain about the fact that his insurance premiums were so much higher because he's not an illegal immigrant. And if you are an illegal immigrant, it's actually way less, way cheaper to get treatment. And I thought that was insane. I mean, it happens here as well. I mean, there's a recent story where a guy pretended he was a refugee to get access with his family to go to see a National Trust place. National Trust is like a charity that looks after historical buildings, and it's very expensive to get in, especially if you've got a family. Especially with a family, it can cost upwards of 70 quid for a family. But for refugees or for those living on benefits, we give it for 8 quid. 8 quid. So he pretended to be a refugee and got it for 8 quid. I can't go against the hustler, man, because it's hardworking people can't afford that. 64 quid is a lot of money for a family to go anywhere. And you got on top of that, you got travel costs, you got the rest of it, food costs, the rest of it. It's ridiculous. Now, obviously, I'm a single man, no family. I don't mind paying extra because there's no extra cost. So I pay for the full shebang. That's no problem. But if you've got a family and you're a hard-working family, I think you should get it cheaper. If you've got kids, I think it should be free. If you've got kids, especially. National Trust is great for kids. So it should be free. I don't mind paying a bit more so that kids can enjoy that. No problem. I actually have no problem with that because it's a really good place to hang out. And yeah, but to get for 70 quid, I'll have to pay that, and I obviously won't pay that. So yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? So that means other people get to benefit, and I don't. Even though it's because I earn more money. I earn money. So great, wonderful. If I was on benefits or I was an immigrant, refugee, could get it for free. Anyway, so let's continue. These benefits, some of which are outright cash payments through the tax code or other direct checks, are a significant pull factor for illegal immigration. So illegal aliens are not supposed to be eligible for welfare programs. The 1996 Welfare Reform Law restricted immigrant eligibility for many public assistance programs to only qualified aliens. However, the Biden-Harris administration has abused these loopholes to confer status to millions of illegal immigrants, qualifying them for welfare programs as a part of its broad catch and release agenda. Aliens, even those otherwise inadmissible, are provided a reprieve from removal by being granted parole, asylum, work authorization after applying for asylum, status as Afghan parolees, Ukrainian parolees, Cuban, and the rest of it, blah, blah, blah. All of these categories can become eligible for taxpayer-provided benefits. As a result, illegal aliens can receive welfare benefits from different public assistance programs, including there's a whole list here. I'm not going to read through them, but that is insane. The cost of welfare for illegal aliens is estimated to be billions. The CBO estimated that by 2034, outlays for benefits provided to immigrants in the surge population and their children will total $177 billion. This includes $59 billion for Obamacare premium tax credits, $43 billion for the EITC and CTC, I have no idea what that means, $40 billion for Medicaid and CHIP, $50 billion for food stamps, $13 billion for child nutritional programs, and $4 billion for SSI. Again, I have no idea what these means. The Federation for American Immigration Reform, FAIR, estimates that federal expenditures on illegal aliens in 2023 totaled nearly $66.5 billion. This includes more than $23 billion in federal medical expenditures so healthcare, and 11.6 billion in welfare benefits. So illegal aliens on benefits. Amazing. Trial nutrition, SSI, and other programs. The Manhattan Institute estimates that every new illegal immigrant has an average net fiscal burden of about $130,000. The study finds that immigrants without a high school diploma who arrive in the US between the ages of 18 and 24, the profile most commonly represented among immigrants who entered the country unlawfully, can receive $332,000 in taxpayer-provided benefits over their lifetime, including healthcare and other welfare program benefits. The report also details that the border crisis is expected to cost $1.15 trillion over the lifetime of the new immigrants who entered the country unlawfully, overstayed a visa, or were paroled. An estimated 60% of illegal immigrant households currently use at least one welfare program, with an estimated $5,500 in federal benefits annually. Some benefits, such as the EITC and CTC, provide an estimated $3.8 to $4.5 billion in outright cash payments to legal immigrants. I mean, gee whiz. I was trying to find an article that I actually found when I wrote my book. I couldn't find it, but it had a map where it showed the cost of immigration per state, or legal immigration per state. And it was actually quite interesting. Oh, here we go. This just shows how many immigrants there are per state. So 1.9 million in California, 250,000 in Arizona. I mean, Texas and California and New York apparently are basically the southern states and New York and Washington. But blimey, California 1.9 million, Texas 1.6 million, New York 600,000. And New York, I heard, is already very expensive to get anywhere. So 600,000 people who are illegal immigrants there at a location which is already very expensive. I'm going to read this again, just making sure that I've covered everything here. Yeah. So illegal immigrant population is around 10 million people. This is interesting. More states are providing fully state-funded health care coverage to some individuals regardless of immigration status. That is interesting. State-funded coverage for adults regardless of immigration status as of March 2024. So it for adults regardless of immigration. So if I just go there, if I go to California, do I get treatment paid for by American taxpayer? Because they've got better healthcare services than me. I don't trust the NHS. I trust Americans. So can I just go to America and get treated? I can just fly into California, not say I'm actually going to go get some healthcare, and just go to a hospital and say, look, I'm injured. I got cancer. Please provide treatment. Can I do that? What? Because I'm white, I can't do it. Is that what it is? These programs, wholly funded with state money, extend coverage to undocumented immigrants and deferred action for childhood arrivals, who are excluded from any federally funded coverage, as well as some lawfully present immigrants who are not eligible for Medicaid or CHIP. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. That's a Miss American business, but taxpayer burden on California is really expensive. So I'll just read this a bit. FAIR released a new study examining the taxpayer's burden. Now, I remember this was in 2014. I couldn't find anything newer than that, but it's obviously got a lot more expensive. I guess the value of this doubling it. That's simply double, I guess, or even triple. I couldn't find anything newer. But in 2014, it cost California 25.3 billion a year. And at the time, there's only 4.1 million illegal aliens uh, in California. That's interesting because actually now there's only 1.9, I believe, and that was in 2024. Oh, okay, so it's actually reduced. Interesting. Interesting. That's actually see that's a new thing. It's actually been reduced. Clearly, there's a lot more illegal immigrants now. Have they actually returned home, or have they been given status to remain and they become Americans? That's interesting, isn't it? How many of these people have actually become Americans? And the reason why I also bang on about why we shouldn't be encouraging immigration to the USA, especially through uh, human traffickers and just opening the borders, is because it allows people like this. This is an article. It's an old article, but written in 2020. But it says here, almost 80% of migrants treated by Médecins Sans Frontières in the first 9 months of 2019 said they had become victims of violence, including kidnapping. And this is endemic. I've just got one article, but if you Google it, there's so many articles out there which will demonstrate my point. So many women get hurt by traveling to the USA. And my hope with this video is really to get people to reflect on whether or not this is deemed a sustainable and worthwhile policy. Because I also want to expand on the fact that actually America could do a lot more good abroad, but doing it abroad, not importing people in the country. Because the dollar has a lot of value, and you could, for I don't know, $500 goes a lot further in, let's say, Colombia than it does in America. So for bank, you get more bang for your buck abroad. And if you've got Colombians who want to come to America, well, let's say no, we're going to help you in Colombia. So I did a calculation on this, but this is mostly for British funding, um, foreign aid to in Jordan, and I can't remember the exact statistic, but I think Britain is like helping like 500,000 people in Jordan. I could be wrong. I don't quote me on that. I need to redig up the statistic. But and it wasn't that much money either. It was like a couple of million quid. And I'm like, that is way more affordable than getting them come here. We've got limited housing, we've got limited healthcare services, we've got limited infrastructure. Things are just becoming harder for the average Brit, and our pound is still worth more than whatever shekel they got. So let's spend money there, keep them within their community, and help them rebuild that community. They don't actually have to feel the need to travel to Britain and go on the arduous journey to travel here. And again, Britain has its fair share of complicity when it comes to supporting human traffickers. There's a huge network of human traffickers and OGNs and the rest of it, NGOs and the rest of it, who benefit from the status quo, who benefit from people wanting to come here, and they get lots of money for enabling it to happen. But it's unfair to leverage these poor, desperate people, give them hope to come to Britain. It's unfair on them, and it's unfair on us. It's unfair on everyone except the NGOs. The NGOs want that because they get money. It's their marketing scam. It's how they make their shekels. Same thing happens in America. I don't know why people don't see through this charade, this facade, because again, a lot of them will suffer undue harm by undertaking that journey, putting themselves in more vulnerable positions, and it's risky as well. Not just because they meet other people, but because they may be traversing a sea in the case of Europe. But also, in Mexico, you got where it's very hot, very arid. I don't know how hard it is. I've never done that journey before, but I wouldn't I wouldn't explicitly want to. And it was also a way of the drug lords, the gangs, to ship drugs across the border, right? It's a way of doing it. Both incentives are aligned. Do you want to go across the border? Okay, but here's my drugs you're going to carry. So all I'm saying is let's slow down a little bit and think pragmatically with our heads. And I don't agree with endorsing more of this. I think it's worthwhile thinking about it before you act. And if you go back to this guy here, The Last of Us, you claim to stand for freedom while tearing it away from others. You're encouraging more of this, Mr. Pedro Pascal. And I'm annoyed because you're calling me violent and small and pathetic. I'm not terrorizing anyone. I'm saying let's not encourage more. Let's not encourage more suffering. Let's help people where they are at. Not encourage them to traverse huge, dangerous areas, vast territory of dangerous land, to come to America. For they risk everything to go there. And the same goes for Europe as well. I don't want people to suffer. I want to help them where they're at. I think we can do a lot more good there. A lot more people can benefit from that. So, and that obviously gives them the right to exist. No one's claiming they shouldn't exist, which is again such a nonsensical argument, which I just find really annoying. Because you can't get anything out of this. It's all about demonization and ignoring the opposition's comments and just that's bad people. They just want to terrorize me. Whatever. Okay. Anyway, enough said for that comment. That comment spurred a half-an-hour video. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my thoughts. If you did, like the video. If you don't, please like the video and make a comment down below of why you didn't. And yeah, if you'd like to see anything more from me, please let me know. Any topics you want me to address or talk about, again, feel free to let me know. And I'm more than happy to engage with you on that. And yeah, if I made a mistake here, I could do better on my sources, because clearly one of them was almost 10 years old at this point, over 10 years old. But I wanted to demonstrate points, and yeah, let's start a conversation about this. And Mr. Pedro, if you're watching this, maybe you'll reconsider your stance. I doubt it, because within your circle, having a different stance might put you in a very precarious position. Might not get the role you want. But maybe it's time to be brave and not encourage more victims. Alright, cheerio lads, have a good day, see ya.